Raucous, very raucous.
Very raucous.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Brightsea Town Council meeting of the 20th of November 2025. Can I ask for apologies for absence?
Apologies from Councillors Carr and Mitchell.
Ladies and gentlemen, you had the minutes of the meeting of the 16th all circulated. Can I ask if there's any queries on accuracy or content? Can I therefore have a proposal, please? Dave, and you second? I've got Dave.
Oh, well, yeah.
You second it. Thank you very much. You have copies of the Mayor's announcements. I don't have anything to add on this. Any questions? Thank you. Move on to item 4, declarations of interest. If any of you have pecuniary or other registrable interests, I'd ask you to declare them now. Thank you very much. And very quickly then, we've moved on to item 5, which is the report from our County Councillor Aaron Goggin. There's a couple of seats there if you want to use them.
What is that? Oh, no, it's my board bit won't show your board bit. It's all right here.
Yeah, you carry on.
Good evening, everybody. Just let you know, just come back from Edinburgh to a pension conference, and there are great times to go to Edinburgh and have a conference, especially when the night of a major discussion in the major is Scotland playing their World Cup final. And during the whole of the meeting, I was listening to the meeting, they just got their camera down here. So, good evening. Busy. Just at the top there, thinking about Bailey Gifford. The reason I go on so much about that is it's now a £13 billion fund in the country, and very well run by people like Bailey Gifford. And it's important we get the numbers right, because at the end of the day, the whole scheme is underwritten by Essex County Council, and that basically means you. So if the fund performance doesn't match the number of people that are living, for how long they live, with the indexation they have and all the rest of it, if it goes wrong, then the only place they can go to bail out is Essex County Council and the ratepayers. So I'm quite keen to make sure that that's that. Under bullet point, third bullet point there, the publication from the government about their consultations started yesterday. I'm just about to send out a copy of the press release to all the parishes and to all the councils. But I'm not going to do it till tomorrow, because obviously if I send out the consultation as seen by Essex, I personally think that's just a bit one-sided. So I'm also going to include the consultation from Tendring and Colchester, so you've got a positive, negative, if you can imagine. There'll be reasons why Essex have done what they've done. There'll be reasons why Tendring have done what they've done, and there's reasons for Colchester what they've done. So, and they're all good. They're all good. I don't suggest a debate briefing for you. Moving down to a small grant application, pleased to say that Essex has approved a grant for Councillor Carr and his surgeon colleagues. So that's coming this way. It is a good application, and I think John Carr should be congratulated for taking it forward. I attended, in my capacity, I attended a debrief on the firework display, and also I've supported an application for the community centre for a grant in relation to their kitchen area in the front. Remembrance service were all there. That was really great to see. I went to another meeting talking about with the police and Transport East. There's a big link up, trying to get a link a pilot scheme whereby quite obvious things like bus timetables and train timetables should try and be linked closer to have. There's a couple of briefs going on in southern Essex, but the statistics which draw pain from me is that at the moment we're trying to get, we've got a zero strategy, zero requirement to look at, target of less than 10 deaths, in some cases zero. For this year, we're running at 56 deaths. And what's interesting, that's 56 deaths, that's not just, and that's only from 47 collisions. So your mind will go back to that terrible situation in Colchester with those four, so that counts as four. And the police were quite strong, so that they're covering down, police categorise a road death as an unlawful killing. That's because it has the same effect. If you imagine your husband or your wife goes out to work or is going and don't come back. And the thing that they are most focusing on is that there's a substantial increase in the drug and substance abuse related accidents. More and more and more accidents. I think we had one in Ladysmith Avenue the other day. I don't want to repeat what I heard, but there's some stories going around about that. I attended a meeting with the Harbour Commissioners in my capacity as Essex County Council. That was a big discussion about their progressing forward. No doubt they're dealing direct with you, so I don't think there's much for me to go on that. I thought the congratulate the town on the Memorial Day service was very good, very good turnout, very well organised, and I was pleased to see also that on November the 11th there was a good turnout. I think that was very good. So well done to the council. Been busy in the High Street. With Essex County Council have laid 65 square metres. I'm not quite sure how much what that looks like really, but it's almost the whole of the bit in front of the other side of the road, in front of the YMCA. Despite the attempt to make it bleeding obvious that the square about around Victoria Place is you've got to go this way and you don't come that way and no entrance here and this, that and the other. Jane phoned me, I think 3 days after the signs had gone in and said, we've got a picture of a van going the wrong way. It justifies, it wasn't a local van, so it could have been another, but back to the same thing. I think the cause of a lot of this is people just following sat-navs without any cause. It'd be interesting to see how that develops. The electricity emergency took a bit longer than I'd anticipated. To be fair, I thought they worked quite well with the crowds in front of the church. I think, the social community grants. It's a very restricted criteria, and John Carr's application fitted it. And I've also supported another one from Pens and Dragons. If anybody's not a supporter, I'm enthusiastic about what they do. They put an application in for some books, a lot of books. White Line there. There's been a bit of further action in Lime Street. There is a social media statement, I'm going to put it like that, by the spouse of one of the contenders, talking about contact with Essex County Council Chief Executive. As of today, that hasn't happened, apart from just exchange of, at this moment in time there is no consultation as such, but there is a thing called, we all know about public rights of way, PROWs, but there is another thing called non-maintainable highways, and there's a department for which is looking into allegations. And I think that is it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions? Councillor Bowden?
I've got, sorry, that it's to do with John Carr on the welfare day, but I can bring it up under welfare.
Okay, yeah, fine. I just have one question, John, very quickly. You talked about buses and bus stops. We have a bus stop somewhere that's becoming more and more derelict. Which one? Regional Road, because nobody can decide who owns it. Is that right?
It's really dreadful.
Yeah.
We need to establish who actually owns it, because somebody need to get ownership so we can get it
Yeah.
fixed. I mean, there's all new bus shelters going up everywhere, but this one looks dreadful.
And we're cleaning two or three of the others that we own. So this one seems to be,
Maybe
it's
it's
yours, it's ours, and I wondered if you could go and check that out for us.
Can I ask you to refer to previous correspondence, because we had the same thing on the agenda, Julie and Tracy, about a year ago, when it was disgusting, well, it was disgusting, wasn't it? And I got a feeling that the end up, when I looked at it at that time, it wasn't owned by Essex County, it wasn't on their list. Now, I don't know how that, I think we ought to reconfirm that.
I think it's a good idea, but the point is, what we're trying to do is find out who actually owns it.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Well, as far as I'm aware, there's only two classifications, as we have in Brighton. There are ones that are owned and, installed and maintained by the council.
Yes.
And there are ones that are put in by the town. So the ones, for instance, in Church Road, they're town council owned and they're run. I can look into that, but
Would you please, because we're actually just about to do some maintenance on those two.
yeah,
And in the discussion in the finance committee, the public, somebody in the public, I think it was, said,
Yeah.
well, that's great, but what about that one? Because that's derelict, and it is derelict.
in your excellent idea about finding out assets, you might come up with a view as to whether that is necessary.
Well, I've been doing that, and
Right.
I haven't found it anywhere yet.
No, sorry, I mean, sorry, I'm trying to be,
Oh, okay. I understand.
whether there, if you imagine there are bus stops that don't have bus shelters.
It's quite
And
a
would you be
popular
better
bus shelter. It's quite a popular.
Oh, it's well used.
Well,
Okay.
I
If
think
you could, let's just leave that for the next
Okay,
meeting,
right,
but
okay.
I'd like to establish, Kerry first, then.
The old Forge bus stop, you know the one I mentioned that was at Open Road?
Yeah, I saw someone there today.
That was me.
Oh, it was you!
I've done it.
I was just about to say.
I went and did it myself.
You had some long loppers.
Yes, I did. I cut it all back. And
I think that deserves a round of applause.
I took the rubbish away with me.
I saw the plastic bag, saw.
Yes, did it myself. I kept driving past it, so I thought I'd just park it.
Can I offer next time, if you want to do it again, please borrow a yellow jacket.
Yeah, I know.
It's not, it's not.
I was coming back and I thought stuff that I've got the lockers in the car. I'm just gonna clean it.
We can move on from lockers then.
Yeah, thank you, and yeah, thanks for the report, Alan. I'm just, a question was asked on my behalf by Councillor Court, thank you very much, at the last meeting, because I wasn't here, about the King Charles III
Yeah.
third crossing path. And I think your response recorded in the minutes was that you would want to ask somebody to get some more information on it.
I think I'll have a look at the minutes. I think I said that it was a thing that ran through my area, but it wasn't so. I think I said if asked, I would speak to whoever the county councillor was for that. So, for instance, I'll go down as far as, or I'll go up as far as St Moses, but from St Moses on, that'll be another councillor, and then round to Manningtree, that'll be another councillor.
Yeah, I mean, I did send it to all the county councillors. Kind of request for support, but I mean, it's been ongoing since about 2021.
Yeah.
In planning stage, so I'm surprised we just learned about it kind of for the first time. But what I would say is that I've had an email from Tom Cunningham, who's been on as portfolio member for transport or whatever, and he's given me a breakdown of where we're at, and it's not is not that encouraging for this area. It seems
Right.
it's the whole Essex coast is kind of the last bit of joining up this 2,500 mile path.
Right.
And it seems that Essex County Council, for reasons that I haven't been able to determine, have not taken up the funding from Natural England that's been available, and not really applied staff and resources to this path. Now, I can, you know, it may not have been priority for them, but given that it is a fully 100% funded kind of trail, and it is the last bit that needs joining up, I think I would appreciate if you could put some more pressure on. I mean, I think what I've done is I've spoken to Public Rights Aware and the Sustainable Travel officers at Essex County, and I think got them alert to the fact that we're monitoring it and we feel it's important, and that, you know, it's a national designated coastal path, and it's for some reason not being joined up here. So Tom Cunningham sent me a reply, I think about 2 weeks ago. If I could ask you perhaps to kind of put pressure on, along with other colleagues, about, you know, as you say, it does straddle other county councillor wards. So it's the path bit from Salford, which I've never been to Salford, but it does fit.
I'm not even sure where it is.
No, it figures a lot in this mapping thing. But Salford to Jaywick, and then Jaywick to Harwich. Are sort of, yeah, particularly Brightsea to Jaywick, and the areas not underinvested in and under-resourced. So if you could sort of have a word with your cabinet colleague and keep a watchful eye on that, I would appreciate that.
If you, first of all, thanks for the question. Thanks for the point. If you send me the copy of the thing you got from Tom, I can follow it up. But I think the complication will be, I think you're quite right, in some people's eyes it's not a priority. And unless I'm mistaken, does it actually, is the Brightlingsea the bit that we look at, Brightlingsea?
No,
There's not much to do, is there?
No, there's a lot. I mean, they're saying that there's quite a significant amount of work to do in terms of getting permissions and getting contractors to do the work. And it is 100% funded, and there's also a maintenance fund, I think, post-installation maintenance fund. So it seems a bit of a no-brainer to me, and, you know, to people who want to see this thing completed, that it should be done. So, I mean, I think they have said that 2026 they will be looking to work on it.
Okay.
But also there's a question mark over whether the Natural England funding will continue past March or April 2026, because it was limited. I think we've got a budget coming up, haven't we, somebody says, and it may well be, I don't know, but yeah, I will send you Tom Cunningham's email,
That'd be great.
and then if you could, you know, follow that up and put some pressure on.
Okay, thank you.
And just you mentioned the first time. No, it wasn't the first time we heard of it, because I think we've been in discussion about your what's that lovely thing?
Sunshine Coast Green.
Sunshine Coast. So there has been some dialogue.
Okay, Alan, there's another question for you, Karen.
Just quickly, it says that the 30 mile an hour speed limit at Spring Chase, did you see that in the end? The one coming down past the lozenge, one I mentioned to you last meeting? The flashing speed sign? Is it working?
Yeah.
It says that Essex County Council doesn't have it on the list. I was just wondering if there's a way you could find out.
Yeah, we couldn't find out who it belonged to. It's not on the Essex County Council.
Would you be able to find out?
Julie hasn't got it on her map, you know, to report
Right.
it. So
I didn't know.
yeah,
I wouldn't be able to find out.
we think it might have been put in with at the same time as the school sign, which is just
Yeah.
according to which way you're going, after it or before
Okay.
it. But we can't find it on our Essex County Council
Okay.
actually tried to
I
report it.
we physically written to us and said, look, we've got this map, here's, sorry, I've got this map, got this sign here, is it yours? I can do that if you
I was
want.
just going to ask if
Yeah.
you could for it.
Okay, all right, Karen? Any other?
Yeah, just one. With the application that John's made for the surgeons, is that in conjunction with like Winterfest? Is that all coming out at the same time?
Not as far as,
Oh, I thought it was.
I don't get, what John's asked for is support for the event.
Oh, okay.
What form the event takes, I'm not sure.
Not sure.
But I think John brought together, I think I'm right in saying this, he brought together about 9 or 10 different
Yeah,
groups.
but it was last time, it was in conjunction with Winterfest.
Okay.
I just wondered if it was again, that's all.
I'm
No,
working, John, on that.
Yeah.
So I've got a report.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's right, we've got.
I mean, the good news is the money's good.
Okay, any other questions for Alan? Okay, thanks very much, Alan. Thank you, Ernie. Up to you. Oh, beg your pardon, sorry.
I was hoping to avoid it, but
Did my best, Alan.
Good try, Alan, but
listen, what we agreed was you'd say it when I went out the door. You know.
Yes.
well, I would have gone to the surgery, but it's not so it's fine. Essex County Highways, which is important for us, we're one road in and one road out. There's a new contract being negotiated, which goes from 2027 to 2034. 1 year, Ringway Jacobs and then Unitary Authorities. But these are the points that you could find out. How much is the contract actually worth? I've seen 2 billion or 3 billion.
Okay.
Can you, there's something in the literature that I've seen about a carriageway contract, a contract within a contract. You might find what that's all about. Then you've got, Tom Cunningham's said that maintenance and reactive maintenance in this new contract, maybe you could find some more details out about that. And then, how many engineers are on Essex County Council's negotiating team with the contract? Highways engineers. Can you find that out?
So, do you mean officers? Or do
No,
you
I mean highways engineers.
what, people on the shovel?
No, I mean the experts. Highways engineers who understand about roads.
Right, okay.
But if you could, not somebody digging a hole, I don't think that's quite the answer. And then, I'm not quite finished. I know you've got new technologies. Can you find out? It's in the literature. It says yes. He says Tom Cunningham, new technologies. What does that actually mean? If you could find that out for us, and then following on from that, in the 1st of April 2028, the unitary authorities take over, and they will be negotiating with the new contractors. I wonder if there will be any, you can find some more information out. And finally, then I'll sit down. We've got the we've got the mayor coming in, and he's in charge. He's going to be in charge of transport, and I'm sure he's going to. I'm sure he's going to want some decent roads and probably the Stansted or maybe Southend Airport or Harrods or maybe Tilbury. But I'll leave it at that. But on a serious note, this is an important thing, Alan. It's a hell of a contract, you know, and the public need to know what's going on. Thank you.
Okay. As it happens, on the way back from Edinburgh, I had a call-in meeting today. So I went straight from it to the meeting, and that was exactly that. So just to be clear, okay, carry on this because it's.
Well, I'd like to keep it quite short because this
Okay.
is Essex
But
County
we've got the wrong
Council.
end of the stick here. That's the only problem.
No, you can get. I don't expect it tonight. If you can get the information,
Yeah, but
and I'll come to your surgery.
I can't get the information. That's the point I was going to make. At this moment in time, what's happened is that the Ringway Jacobs contract has come to an end. And like all contracts, a new one needs to be renegotiated. But it's not about renegotiating the contract with Greenway Jacobs.
No, I know that.
And it's about renewing the contract with somebody.
Yes.
And if it's of any comfort, we've just employed a lady at Essex County Council in a key role in highways, who was responsible for taking Kent out of the obligation that they had. So what we were discussing today is that to get to the stage where we are, which is we're putting forward the requirement for the contract. If people want to bid for the contract, this is what the contract is. It is 1,000 pages with over 600 headings. So the answer to your question is, I'm not going to say no because I can do some of it, but of course we don't know who the contractor will be. We're in discussion with a variety of firms that are of that ilk,
Right.
but it's not about renewing the contract with Greenway Jacobs. Greenway Jacobs are in the mix,
Yeah.
the same as anybody else.
Yeah, I know that. I'll come and see you at your surgery, Alan.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, I enjoy you.
Are there any other questions, Brendan? Malcolm?
I'm Malcolm Morris, Spring Road. There is, who is responsible for clearing the seaweed up from the hard area?
Exactly what I was going to ask.
Because when I was bringing a boat in, I nearly slipped over on a lump of them because of the extra spring tides
If it's
this
on
week.
it's on the hard itself you're talking about.
On the hard, just in front of the shelter.
And or any prom.
The,
All round the prom as well.
well, I thought you meant the hard.
On the hard because of us, I was just on the road to B1029.
So we have reported along the promenade and at the hard.
Can tendering councillors take note then, please?
There have been some particularly high tides, Martin, so.
Well, the wind's always there.
That
We
was
do,
a fortnight
we do
ago.
have to take into account that, the seasonal factors, and yes, I will take it.
It seems to be slipping as if people are treating it like an ostrich, tendering council, putting their head in the sand and hope the problem will go away.
Okay, I'd like to bring this back to Brighton City Town Council.
And Essex.
No, no, you've had your go.
I'm so pleased. My colleagues
Let's
say
have a
no.
go. If we have no more questions, I'll, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll take the best wishes to St. Joseph, please do. Oh, if anybody wants to look at the submission,
Are you going to leave that here?
no.
It's online.
Right. I can say I've seen it then.
I've just seen it.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we can move on therefore to item 6, which is the district councillors. Which one wants to go first? Councillor Mick.
Oh, yeah, okay. There's an outline of contacts and stuff been doing, but I'll just bring your attention to the final bit of my report about the local government reorganisation update position. And this is about the town council position that we had a meeting with officers, TDC officers here, you may recall, Gary Guyvan, Jane Wilkinson, on 5th of September. We then put some questions in and we got a response on the 7th of November. Myself, you and Councillor Atkinson have had a look at that response, and what is being proposed is that we provide a further briefing, a kind of options briefing to all town councillors on 2nd of December, 6 o'clock. And then I think the process would be that we will prepare an outline case to be submitted by the end of December. So what I'm suggesting in terms of due process is that we have the meeting with all town councillors on the 2nd. We provide an options paper before that for people to have a look at, and then we have as far as we can, get consensus as to what we want to put in our submission. That would then be endorsed, hopefully at the next full council meeting here on the 11th of December, so it becomes official town council strategy. And then that goes off to tendering, as I say, as an outline case to business case to be prepared, by the end of January. And what I said, I was just talking about this afternoon, was if we put in a submission, with, you know, an outline case, what we would want is a fairly well-considered response to that in order to then prepare a business case, because we don't want to be wasting both our times by preparing a business case on something that they are just not going to consider as viable. So we want a kind of viability assessment from them, our proposals, and I've also asked that they provide a template or a business case submission, so that, and they actually, Chief Exec thought that was a good idea today, said we would ask Gary Guyver to prepare that, because then they would have a business case kind of transparency from other town councils as well, so everybody was submitting the same levels of information and asking the same questions. So that's where we are with that. I hope that, you know, finds
I think it's
all
very
with
good.
the council in terms of governance and process is probably the best, and I think we are the council in the district that is the furthest advanced in terms of our responses. I think there's other councils discussing things with them, you know, Walton, and there's slightly different where they've got smaller, you know, a leisure centre like Harwich and Walton to discuss, because that involves transfer of jobs and TUPE and also a different kind of level of discussion. So that's that, and then just to echo Alan's point that the local government reorganisation consultation, public consultation started yesterday, and that there will be links and information coming round, I think, being sent out to the town clerk, to send to all councillors and the public. Probably wants to take part in that, and I think I'd like to suggest that we as a town council become a consultee or put in a submission. I mean, we can individually, I think, put in submissions, but maybe we would have more impact if we put in a collective Brantford Town Council submission, and I think we've got a month to do that. So maybe as part of the discussions we have on LGR at the next meeting, we could actually consider the options that we've got. I mean, clearly the district council is very much in favour of 5 unitaries and having Braintree, Colchester and tendering is one of those. And you know, we can look at the case for that as opposed to the case that's been put for the 3. And at least here, Alan, is, you know, the county council are putting out all options and not just this, as they have been doing so far. So yeah, and by the end of January, there should be fairly clear indicators of where we are going as a town council, and then I think in March there will be an announcement as to which, following the public consultation, announcement which unitary model they have followed.
Mick, can I just ask you, going back, rather than the answer to that, when would you expect to get a definitive answer once we've put our submission of our transfer?
I think that would be towards the end of the year, because there's the business case.
Oh, right, so a long way away.
A long way. It'd have to be the business case would have to be considered by, you know, they're talking about conveyancing, they're talking about solicitors, talking about contracts, and we won't be able to do anything around May time because of the election for the mayor. There's going to be, they don't call it purdah, but they call it something else. You won't be able to pre-election something. Yeah, so you won't be able to do anything for 6 weeks around that, and seem to be biased in any way. So there'll be a gap there, and I think they were talking about the summer for final submissions, and then you know, looking at the legalities and contracts and everything by the end of the year.
Okay, thank you. Jean, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, I know you're really busy, Nick, and I know you've done such a lot of work on this, and thank you so much for doing it. But could you possibly ask again about the lights in the car park, in our car park?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I
Is
had
there
a,
any result on that?
yeah, I had an email exchange today with Andy Payne,
Oh.
and, you know, we are aware that we're putting out a press release about lots of car park awards. There's been another 12 awards to
We
a
got
car
the
park.
award, didn't we?
And he was looking at low level solar powered lighting for this car park, which he has found difficult to source, that is sufficiently functional. So he's gone for some solar powered lights on sort of higher level or poles, like, and so he's about to send out a consultation letter to residents about that, and see what response we get.
Well, we're only asking for sort of low level lighting, it shouldn't interfere with any residential.
I think he was saying that the quality or the sort of you know, what he could purchase
Yeah,
wouldn't actually do the job very well. So I mean, it is in hand, and they are looking to put something in.
thanks, I
subject-
appreciate you asking,
subject to
yeah, I know you're really
consultation,
busy.
yeah. So he's,
Okay.
we hope he gets something.
I've got Rick, Kerry and Jane.
Well, actually, I just want to echo.
County councillor or what?
No, I want to echo the work you're doing in this LGI is much appreciated, Nick. I think it's very important. I just want to pick you up on from the previous meeting. I think we were looking at the caravans on the promenade. Have we got any further than that? Because
Well, it is about putting forward a application for a traffic regulation order, and I think as a town council, we have to, I suppose, consider the options, and I think we've gone down the yellow line
Yeah.
consideration. It's a difficult one because there's no clear-cut answer that will not impinge on legitimate users, if you like. We've had concerns expressed about putting people off visiting, you know, regular visitors rather than people who tend to live here. But I'm happy to take it forward, but there has to be some evidence shown of a need for that, and then I suppose an impact assessment on general public users as to what.
I think it's the overnight parking which is the key.
Yeah, well, that's a fair, I suppose that's a straightforward.
Should we put it back to FCA so they can discuss that?
Sorry,
Yeah.
it did come up at ENT, it is on the ENT
okay.
report, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if the town council, you know, and I'm happy to take that, put that
So is
forward.
it, sorry, do you mean is it the town council that has to apply for this?
They have to ask like me or the district to put that forward to the next.
Well, I'm very happy to answer it. Quite frank.
Right, okay,
If that's-
carry on, so Kerry next then.
Just quickly, the asset
Yeah.
transfer, so after it's all gone through, when would the assets?
Well, that would come in prior to festing day, which is 27. The shadow authority would come in April 27, and the full handover would be April 28. So, I mean, I think they would have to do it before we became a unitary, because they wouldn't have any authority to do it after that.
Yeah, so I was thinking,
Yeah.
when would it
Well, I
happen
think they're looking
before?
towards the end of next year.
Okay.
Some kind of exchange.
Mine's not a question, it's just from mix with the unitary and the consultation, just to say we're actually talking today. We're going to print off some more copies, because I had 3 people in to the shop this afternoon who said we haven't got a computer. And I've sort of suggested going to the library. I understand the library won't let you do it unless you're a member.
The library are having paper copies sent to them.
Oh, right.
So I've made contact and asked for a copy so that we
Okay,
can
so,
make copies here, yeah.
For that reason, there's people asking and we said do a paper copy, but that's just following on from next.
Right,
Sorry, just getting back to the camper vans again.
hang on, I'm
Oh,
going
sorry.
through to, I'm trying to get everybody in turn.
Oh,
He's had his
so-
hand
I'm
up.
so
Carl
sorry.
Graham.
Yeah,
Sorry,
just,
Graham.
just to go back to the caravans and all that, we've gone to the Environmental Agency about putting waste down the drains.
Yeah.
And also we've gone to the Environmental Agency because they're about the generator. I think there is stipulation then about running generators on the highway. So we put
Okay.
on both of those.
One, is that reporting back to ENT?
It will do,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
The other
Julie's
thing-
done it.
Yeah, the
so-
other thing was, if they do the parking signs, apparently NEP, only work in daytime, not in the evening, so it kind of defeats the object a little bit. If there's a sign there saying no parking overnight, and they're all parked there, they've gone away. So
Yeah, well, if they're gonna be there
they're
all the
gonna,
time,
yeah, if there's
I
only
see
they've
your
got
point,
on
yeah.
daytime, but that's not the problem we've got, is it? They're there all the while.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's a difficult one to deal with. I mean, I take the environmental
Yeah.
approach that there's probably more enforcement on an individual because you're using it to blanket the whole
Yeah.
crop.
Yeah, which we didn't really want to do.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you may catch people up in that
Yeah,
prohibition that you don't want to catch.
exactly.
Okay, I'm just going to let Alan interrupt and come in again. Alan, as it's your highways.
Thank you. I wanted to ask, I've never done this before, so this is the first time. I wanted to ask a question on a point of order, that's something that Mick said, which I'm not sure I heard properly. Am I allowed to do that?
I don't have an objection to it.
Okay. Sorry, Mick, I was tidying up my notes here. I think you said that Councillor Goggin had promoted, but not discussed all the assets.
Initially, you did. Initially, you came here. I think you've said tonight that you are looking to put out all the options, but 2 meetings ago you came in and you were waving the 3 around as though it was, Magna Carta, and I think you've got to be fair, to be seen to be fair. So I thank you for tonight.
Okay, that's to be blunt, that's not actually quite true.
Okay.
I'm just going to say that Essex County Council in this document give page after page after page to the reasons why they think it's appropriate, but they also give similar space to all of the others. There are 5 other options, and they're all in here. So to
Okay,
say,
Alan, I take that point. Okay, I think we've got to move back because I thought you were going to say something about highways.
I was just waiting till Nick had finished his bit. Sorry.
Okay. Can I move back? Any other questions for Mick? Okay, thank you. Moving on then. Jane, nothing to add to your report?
Other than, I have got copies of the, waste and recycling contract, I've got a few copies with me if anybody wants one.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, any other questions? Can I therefore move on to Graham?
Yeah, thanks very much. Just going through, the online police and fire crime commissioner, which I zoomed into the Great Essex councillors, I thought that was a bit of a tick the box job, and I did want to ask a few questions, but I was cut short, I think. But there is a recording of that on the YouTube. And then obviously the briefing with the Connect buses regarding public transport system, that was quite nice, where there was alluded to the fact that possibly a driving cigarette taxi bus to come to the hospital and the town centre. That's not been confirmed yet, so we'll wait to hear on that. And then I received the email there from local Charlie Poulter, and so I actually went there. It was yesterday. So just going back a couple of things about the shelters. It was one of the teams who was at that exhibition, the infrastructure team. So I did ask about shelters, and they did say there could be some money coming along. I think it's not been announced yet, that's what we're told. And also the other one was the real-time passenger information. And I asked them about putting up, the computerised. And they were quite sort of open there. They said if we'd like to go forward with sites, they would look to put those in. So I think maybe we could cover that on the next ENT meeting. And where are we now? So I've got him coming along to a street meeting at tendering in January to progress things. And then I spoke to Gary Goyler at our house today concerning the local plan. Apparently is going to come out any time.
Consultation is going to be end of December, beginning of January.
And then you've got the LGR devolution press release. And just for that, we had a group leadership, and we had a couple of representatives from the Essex Association of Local Governments, and they were very complimentary about what tendering or the stage tendering had actually got to. So, and they said, because obviously they've got experience with that sort of thing, and they said we're ahead of any other similar operations that they've been involved with. So, and I think, as I said, it's all about enhancing democracy, because what tendering did in putting that onto social media, papers, posters, I think it's about being quoted there as giving residents a real say in their communities are represented. That was with the new but I think taking on board what we've got to do with the LGR, I think we've got to really push on with that because that's going to give our residents a real say in what they want for the future. I think personally, my personal view is that we should take the lead on this. We've had 2 or 3 meetings cancelled for whatever reason or put back. I think it's time that we took ownership of it.
Right, any questions?
Yeah, mine's on the devolution thing, Clacton Town Council. How much is this work costing the district council to do, and where's the money coming from? Is it coming from ratepayers, TDC budget, or is it coming from government money?
It was in the budget apparently. I think something like got 30,000. I haven't got the exact amount, but I think
yeah, it is around that. So it's kind of like our taxpayer money that's paying for working out in Clacton One and Town Council.
Any other questions for okay, thank you very much. Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, so if we can move on to the team's report then, and FCA. I think as said not here, Rick, you can...
Yeah, I'll stand in. So the report of the Facilities Community Assets meeting of Monday the 10th is in front of you. Moorside Development Strategy, there was a good meeting on that one, and then it's starting to move quite well. And I think we should see some development and a group sort of forming in the near future. Bateman's Tower Cafe, there is a recommendation, but also a post-meeting meeting note to say that we have now received an email, so that is good. I think that's a fair point. And I think that's the only other note, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you.
When's the next meeting for the development strategy?
We are still formulating the core partners' terms of reference to which the strategy group will be made up from. In other words, we're looking at the Moorside Development Strategy Group will be drawn of people with certain skills that will enhance and have the knowledge to look as a group. It will be separate from the council, separate from the Harbour Commissioners, but we will have influence on it, and we will be the core partners they'll report back to. It's a long-term strategy group. It's it's using commercial interest, it's looking at loans and stuff like that.
Sorry, it's the wrong, it's the wrong group I was thinking of.
Oh, I see, yeah. But I enjoyed, I enjoyed the
promenade one I meant.
I enjoyed the way
Sorry.
you explained it, yeah.
Promenade.
We haven't got a take for that, we
Just waiting until you get those.
I think we've, the sort
Details
of,
from
the,
Is that the WWP?
So she's waiting for the information from
Okay.
the
Jane,
people.
Jane.
I just,
yeah.
yeah, sorry, I just want to say, yes, I did leave the meeting, don't think I was working, but I'm actually working in social services at the moment, for residents, so I had to leave to take an online call.
Right, okay. Anything else?
No?
Thank you, Brad. We'll move on to ENT.
Yeah, we had a meeting, we had a visit from Steve Townsend from Truvelo. They're people that make, the movable, speeding signs that you see at Thornton, where they move them about with a smiley face. And, he gave us a demonstration of how it works, how you can move it about. And it's solar powered, it's movable, and we're just awaiting an official quote to see what, how much it's going to be. We also spoke again about the caravans on which we've just already spoken about. And it was agreed to go ahead with the traffic regulation order. So the only point of that was the overnight, they don't work overnight, but it could, could help.
Can I just pick you up on that? Because the recommendation is only to ask Councillor Barrett to ask Andy Needham to proceed.
Which is what we did.
I think,
Yeah.
sorry, just to put some detail on that, I think we would be advised by the NEC as to what would be the best solution to the problem that, as I say, wouldn't create unintentional consequences for, day visitors or anybody who might just want to do one organised steer rather than several.
Yeah, it would spoil it for a lot of other people.
Potentially, that's the issue, yeah. So I think we would get Andy and the team to take advice and give us some options, because I think we could use a sledge over here and spoil it for a lot of people. Because I think I prefer the more regulatory approach of the Environment Agency and Tendering Environmental, that they are not using, they're using the drains and dangerous.
Can I ask, have we actually written to the Environmental Agency asking them to do something? We have. So we've got a clock running. I just want to make sure we've actually asked, and not just talking about it.
We have some video evidence as well.
Right, have you sent that off to them?
I think so.
Have you got?
I don't know,
Oh.
but I know Julie's
Okay, so,
Can I just finish this?
yeah, sorry, I
Yeah,
just
that's
want to
right.
establish that.
And then, Matt Court gave us a brief on the Sunshine Coast Greenway cycling and walking route. And Matt stated that he's looking for support from the town council with a quote possibly from the mayor or the chairman of the committee. But it was agreed that that we'd do a further meeting because there's such a lot to it. There's a lot for him to explain. It's a really, really good, excellent thing for Brighton Sea. So we decided that it would be better if we called a meeting just for that alone. And that would be in January sometime, and we'd invite the public as well. Is that okay?
Yeah, kind of a Brighton Sea Town Council open meeting that we would have on to.
Can I just ask, what is this part of, or is it, I'm getting slightly confused.
There's a lot of overlap. With all of this stuff, there's a lot of overlap.
That's
We were at a meeting today, jointly discussing active travel.
That's why we need to it needs to be explained properly.
One helps the other helps.
Correct. Fine.
So the action points were cleaning of the bus shelter. I think finance have agreed the money, but we weren't going to see what Graham said about money for cleaning, or that might be
that
take too long.
that comes from the infrastructure
the other action points are what we've already just discussed.
Okay.
Just one.
Yeah.
The installation of the solar panel signs, I don't understand the pricing, so it's the 4,000. What is it if it's on an existing pole, so is that the
I haven't
300?
seen the quote for it yet, so I don't know, where did you get that?
It's on your agenda.
Is it?
Item 3.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, we got some quotes.
I was just wondering.
They were, yeah, but they were only sort of quotes on the day.
Oh no, I just
We're
didn't
just
make
waiting for
sense
something
of the.
official before we was going to discuss it, yeah.
Okay, no,
But that did include installation of some posts, etc.
so
Putting
that's
it up,
with
setting it up.
a post that's already existing and then
Yeah.
one that
If we need to put a new post in.
Yeah.
That's all right, that's all I wanted to
Yeah,
know.
there's a lot of places where you can't put them, as we know.
You know, I just couldn't, I didn't understand what the 3 figures were.
Okay.
That's okay, that's.
We're just waiting for an official invoice to come.
Okay, fine. Anything,
Not invoice.
was that?
Sorry,
Scratching your back, right. Okay, any other questions for you? Okay, thank you very much. Right, moving on to the.
Sorry, just one more thing, Jean, just on the next meeting, was it Thursday or Tuesday? Because it's got the second, and it's Thursday before. Tuesday or
I didn't check the
Thursday.
diary, I said that earlier.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if you just know.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody will come back to you on that
That's
one.
fine.
Right, okay, thank you. Moving on, welfare and resident services.
The vaccinations at the YMCA, they have been so busy with the busiest area in Essex. And they're putting on another surgery this Saturday, so that means that they would have done 7 on the end of, so I'm just stressing that bit. You were emailed out today about a homeless person, just to let you know that Mark is going to try and call him. If he doesn't answer the WhatsApp, he's been spoken to several times. He has the forms to complete. If he completes and gets them in, then he will be found somewhere.
Is this the guy on the wreck?
Yeah. Terry knows him and has spoken to him, so everything that can be done has been done. So it has been reported to tendering, and he's got the forms. All he needs to do is fill them in, and they will house him. So, Councillor Carr's grant. John filled in the grant application. He's got the 4 surgeons coming down that he had last year. Then asked me if I would come on board, and it's been turned into a welfare day. So we've got the usual, the police, the fire, the SOS bus. But we've only just started to work on it, so the welfare group will be asked to get involved after Christmas when we get a bit closer to. So all credit to John in the application. We got the grant form on that. Another question, and I know you asked, Chris, about the same thing. I was asked by a resident on how many council houses there were. There's 3,078 council housing properties, and we have 1,869 on the waiting list. And I think we specifically asked band A and B. There's 133 on band A, 438 on band B.
Right.
So very short council housing and social housing. If you want a copy, I'll order one.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry. This is more to do with the individual resident.
That's tendering council houses. You know, people also are made aware that if they live in Brightonsea and go on the council housing list, they probably won't get housed in Brightonsea. We've got one of the lower. So that's all online.
Sorry, I'd just like to ask you a supplementary of that. There's somebody here that's on one of those, you say they won't necessarily be in Brightonsea, but it will be in tendering.
Oh, it's in tendering, because they're tendering
Because
council
they asked
housing.
if they could get to Colchester, and I said, no, it's a different borough.
You go to Colchester Housing.
Yeah. That's
But
what I
in
thought.
saying that, Colchester have got properties in Clacton where they house
Yeah.
some of them. That's quite a big debate going on, isn't it? But, yeah.
I think she's got to hear about that, yeah, that's what it
No,
was.
they have to contact the other council.
Okay, fine, are there any questions? Okay, thank you very much indeed. John's not here on communication and tourism. I know that one of the things that's actually happening in the near future is, there's an expert, we believe, an expert at Colchester District Council that, with Facebook, and he's coming here,
January 16th.
January the 16th. Anyway, he's going to do a presentation to the tourism and communications team, and obviously everybody's interested to turn up as to how to use it. So there's particular training on how his council is using it and how they're staying up with it and keeping the news going, things like that on it. Something that we try desperately, but they do it a completely different way. So he's coming along to show us how to do it. I think it's actually opening their own account as a business account. I think
They're very, very good at it as well.
yeah. So that was. I don't think there's anything else really of mega importance.
No, the only thing I would say is that quite three or four different press releases, and the one about the government,
LGA went out
today. Yeah, so, and we put on there that forms, hard copies will be available here as well as the library.
Yeah, on communications, just like to give a shout out to 4Youth that have won the
Definitely, yeah.
God King's Award.
We send them a
That's absolutely
congratulations
fantastic,
message.
yeah.
And
Just
somebody
like to
else
mention
here.
it.
What was the other one that was from here?
Sorry?
There's another group, wasn't there?
There was another group.
Oh,
I'm not sure how you call it. I call it Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't think it's.
yeah.
It's not called that anymore, is it?
Is it Pens and Dragons?
Pens and Dragons,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if we can minute that, congratulations to both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Fine, thank you. Then we can move on to item 8, which is the finance report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The finance meeting, property committee met on 18th November. The minutes are in front of you. There are several recommendations. Going through them, if anybody wants to stop on any of them. Just the Boat Park Harbour dues, we are sending an email through Julie here to all our licence holders this year who have a space in the boat park, just reminding them that if they do use the water for their boats, that they should go and pay their harbour dues at the harbour office. There's a recommendation swim platform, we're just looking for clarification. Councillor Steady is looking for progress for war memorial cleaning. We're looking for a recommendation from Mr. Butcher to give a quotation. The bus cleaning, bus shelter cleaning, we've already talked about. The town guide, the committee, our finance committee did all congratulate the tourism and communications team for bringing the town guide in over budget. We actually made a slight profit on it, which I think is absolutely should be recommended and was done. Other than that, the standing orders were passed at the finance committee. So again, we need to ratify that. And the voids, yes. The voids, there's a bunch of the voids, which I did actually just mention, we're just waiting for to clarify whether the 660 is our 1/3 contribution, or are we only being asked for 220? So we're asking for clarification.
A bit confusing on the
It was a bit confusing on the way it came.
Okay, any questions on this? So can I have a proposal, please? Or you propose second terms? Thank you very much. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Moving on to part B. James, that was you.
Councillor Howard and I have examined the accounts for October 2025 and under the delegated authority to the finance committee confirmed that 23 payments in the sum of £14,845.71 have been authorised and paid. However, 4 of these payments payments totaling £6,151.39 were paid in October 2025. The statements of balances on the following accounts are to be accepted. Current account, £61,196.07. Business premium account, £28,839.54. Business premium account, second one, £512. CCLA Public Sector Deposit Fund, £52,267.09. Instant Access Account, £24,363.36. Current T2 account, £119,909.96. Making a total on all accounts of £287,088.02. Income for October 2025 was £153,910.62. Expenditure for October 2025, £42,865.14. Income to date, the 1st of April to the 31st of October 2025, £420,074.45. Expenditure to date, the 1st of April to the 31st of October 2025, £270,195.07. Employee payments paid for the month of October were £18,912.89. Barclay card payments for October 2025 were £782.40. Cash card payments for October 2025, £225.75. I knew. Am I on the drink?
I presume you second all those? All those happy with that? Okay. That's unanimous. Okay, thank you. Just before we move on.
Yeah, just making the comment that we had the internal control that covered the auditor. I don't know whether Dave wants to say anything as well on this, and he's just given us an interim report on how the council and the finances are going, and he did give us a very good report, and couldn't really see any issues, and was very complimentary, particularly to Councillor Atkinson's work for the committee. I just think I should mention.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So, there's no other questions. We'll move on to item 9, which is planning. Jim.
Yes, planning was quite thin on the ground again. We just had one that we objected to, which was the planning at the yard, Lime Street, Brighton. See, we have some members of the public in, but all our objections are listed out quite well. So, there was 2 others, University Yacht Club and 67 Church Road, which were agreed through email. But I'd like to move that we accept this.
Okay. I'll second that. All those in favour? Thank you. Thank you very much. We've got there. So, item 10 is questions from the public. So,
Sorry, just one is for Councillor Barry. It's the North East Essex partnership. Is there any more news, Councillor, about what's going to happen in 2 years' time with devolution? You know, please, I should say.
There's been discussions about whether it would continue. Because it's an umbrella organisation currently of 6 district councils, and whilst those district councils are going to disappear in themselves, their districts will still remain, and it may well be that the North Essex Partnership operates on behalf of the new unitaries. So there could be the North Essex Unitary, 3 county, 3 districts, plus the West one, Uttlesford, Epping, Harlow, which is what it does at the moment. Myself and another councillor, Hargreaves from Uttlesford, have been trying to get the NEP to update their agreement. There's an agreement between the 6 districts and the county council to become fit for purpose under local government reorganisation, because at the moment it's got some anomalies and it needs updating and revising. And we did all the work. We put forward the amendments, and we wanted to send it to Essex Legal, and there was objections from Braintree and Colchester for some reason. But we had a vote and won the vote 3-2, and we sent that in March, I think, and we had an update at the meeting last week in Epping, and they said, oh, it had just gone to legal because it had been sent to Highways for comment, and Highways had sat on it for 5 months before sending it to legal. And there seems to me to be, and I think it's the County Council, I have to say, it's Essex County Council are seeking to delay the modernisation of that agreement for reasons that are beyond my comprehension, because it's not fit for purpose. There was an argument that Essex Legal have got their hands full with LGR and that it's a waste of time. But, we see it as preparing for LGR and making that agreement fit for purpose. So, long answer to a short question. We're not sure whether NEP's going to continue, but there will have to be a parking authority.
Yeah.
And whether that is just based in the three councils that have formed a new unitary, or straddles 2 unitaries, has to be decided.
That's important for all of us in.
Well, it is, yeah. Very
Thank you.
important.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
You mentioned about the boat and dinghy park. Does the finance have any, will they be raising the fees for this year? Because in the last 3 years, the fees have risen 150%.
I was going to say, we have yet to have our budget meeting, so it's very difficult to answer that question. But in fact, I think the general consensus is that we are unlikely to.
Because last year there was no increase, and thanks to Councillor Morgan, the tap in there got to work.
And electrics.
But before that, when Councillor Carr was involved, there was 100% increase, and then the following year there was another 50% increase. Can you bear that in mind in your budget? Thank you.
We're trying to run a very efficient boatyard which will be to serve the general need of all the boating public here.
In relation to the harbour dues, in the past, when the last hard master, Tony Bragg, was on duty in the hut, the entrance and Cummins and Forth was policed.
Quite right.
Yeah. Thank you.
We can only do our job, other people have to do theirs, don't they? Are there any other questions?
Thank you. In the last finance meeting, part B, the old MMO came up again. Do you think, it's been going on for so long now, do you think we could have a bit of an update of what the position is?
We have had long discussions with the MMO, and it's important that we get it right. And it's very important that we fully understand what the MMO are thinking and what the concerns are about the present situation and into the future. On all these things, it's very important that we fully understand what their concerns are. And I think what we're doing is trying to get to the very final bottom of this, to get a final agreement that everyone can live with and move on. And I think that's within reach, but it may take another month or so.
We're in communication on a near weekly basis at the moment, but I think it's a delicate point, so it's not worth saying too much because it could go either way in our discussion.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions? No? Thank you very much.
You've got 2 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a letter from Ravina Longhurst, which has actually been reinforced by a long letter by Susie Jenkins, which I think we will probably need to write back to, because
Susie Jenkins has assisted us in answering that.
Insisting that, okay, fine. The letter from Ravina Longhurst says the entrance to the Millennium Gardens has been brought up before. I understand it is a nature garden, but it looks very untidy all year. And surely could be repositioned somewhere else, and the entrance area of attractive planting reinstated. Maybe the bloomers might be interested in taking it on. We have a comment from Terry, our grounds manager, who's just written here saying it is down to personal opinion. Wildflower planting does look attractive whilst flowering, and it is beneficial to wildlife. In my opinion, this is the best for the area and is in keeping with the surrounding garden, as Terry said. On the second part of the question, coming from Robina Longhurst, it says, I used to often visit the recreation field on Regent Road to walk my dog, but have stopped going due to boys and men urinating in the hedges. This is not acceptable, and I find that there are toilets, but they have not been closed for a while. Surely this needs looking at. I see that this issue was raised here in May, and the response was less than helpful, suggesting that someone would need to be made redundant to afford this refurbishment and ongoing maintenance. Grants are available to increase sport participation, and the recent sale of the beach hut could be used. Can I ask for this to be reviewed again, please? And Terry has also responded to this, saying, the toilets on the Bayard Recreation Ground are now the responsibility of the cricket club. There is one disabled toilet stroke referee changing room, which is kept locked. It is opened by the users, but them only. In the past, when this toilet has been left open, it was vandalised. In speaking to staff, we have only had 2 to 3 people complain about people urinating. If reported to us, we would, where possible, always speak to the person committing the offence and take the appropriate action. Mr. Chair.
Okay, I presume that will be minuted, so anybody.
Sorry, one question, Malcolm.
But the town council own these toilets.
Can you spell Robina? Is it M? M-O?
I want to know if it's now the auspices of the cricket club, and has been for years now.
Was it in their lease when was them toilets in their lease when it was renegotiated?
Yes, it was. Yes. Yes. Okay. That would be it. So if we could move on then to item 11. Just to note. Okay, thank you very much. Can I just ask that the council members remain for 2 minutes after this meeting? I think Graham wants to have a chat about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I close the meeting. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Pip, I'm sorry about that. I've already received his hand up because he was
It's already